There's a quiet paradox at the center of modern money culture. The people who actually have a lot of money rarely live the lives that everyone online says they should. And the people who don't yet have money are usually terrified that whatever number they're aiming for still won't be enough. I'll give you a real example. A private client advisor once told me about a man in his early 50s who had built a net worth just north of $9 million. Multiple businesses, diversified investments, zero debt. From the outside, you'd assume this guy lived large. Instead, he drove a 5-year-old SUV, booked economy plus flights, and spent less per month than some dual-income households making a quarter of his income. When the advisor asked him why he didn't upgrade anything, his answer was simple. Upgrade to what? My life already works. At the same time, there's a growing group of people online who believe that anything under $10 to $15 million is basically financial insecurity in disguise. They're chasing a number without ever stopping to ask what that number is actually supposed to do for them. And that's the real problem. Most people don't have a money goal. They have a money superstition. Today, I want to walk you through something most of the financial industry avoids talking about. Why the lifestyle difference between being very wealthy and being extremely wealthy is far smaller than people think. Why the jump from $1 million to $5 million changes your life dramatically. And why the jump from $5 million to $20 million mostly doesn't. We'll use real spending behavior, real retirement math, and a bit of uncomfortable honesty about incentives.
Think of wealth like a ladder. The lower rungs matter enormously. Going from no savings to $50,000 is transformative. That's emergency resilience. That's sleep-at-night money. The next jump, from $50,000 to $250,000, is still life-changing. You gain optionality. You're no longer trapped by every bad job or unexpected expense. Even the move from $250,000 to $1 million feels huge. That's when assets start working with you instead of against you. But somewhere along the way, the ladder stops going upward and starts going sideways. At higher levels of wealth, you're no longer buying freedom. You're buying slightly nicer versions of the same things you already had. Let's talk about actual spending. When researchers and private wealth managers look at how households behave across different net worth tiers, a consistent pattern shows up. People with under $1 million tend to spend somewhere around $90,000 to $120,000 per year. Comfortable, but careful. Households in the $1 to $5 million range usually step up to roughly $150,000 to $180,000 per year. Nicer homes, better vacations, fewer trade-offs. Here's where it gets interesting. Households with $10 million, $20 million, even $30 million in net worth often spend around $250,000 to $300,000 per year. Not millions, not yachts and private jets, just very good versions of a normal life. That's not because they can't spend more, it's because spending more doesn't actually add much to their daily happiness. You can only sleep in one bed. You can only eat one dinner at a time. And the difference between a very good restaurant and an exceptional one is usually measured in nuance, not life satisfaction. So let's build a realistic, high-end retirement scenario and see what it actually requires. Imagine a married couple retiring at traditional retirement age. They've both had strong careers and qualify for solid social security benefits. One receives about $4,000 per month, the other $2,000. That's $72,000 per year before touching investments.
Now let's assume they want to live extremely well. Not modestly, very well. Say they want to spend $300,000 per year after taxes. That's aggressive, That puts them well into the top tier of retirees by spending. Assume an effective tax rate around 35%. To net $300,000, they need roughly $460,000 in gross income. Social Security already covers $72,000, so their portfolio needs to generate about $388,000 annually. Using a withdrawal rate just under 5%, which is on the higher end of sustainability, that requires a portfolio of roughly $8 million. That's the upper bound. This is the I want a beautiful home, frequent travel, no compromises version of retirement. And even here, the number still doesn't reach the mythical $10 to $15 million range people throw around online. Now let's look at something more common. Most affluent retirees spend closer to $180,000 per year. That's a very comfortable lifestyle. Good housing, travel, dining, hobbies, and healthcare without stress. Using the same Social Security assumptions, that $180,000 after tax requires about $260,000 gross. Subtract the $72,000 from Social Security, and the portfolio needs to generate $188,000 per year. At a 4.5 to 5% withdrawal rate, you're looking at roughly $4 million. 4. Not 10, not 15. 4. And yes, this includes people living in high-cost cities. Wealth managers don't just work with retirees in low-cost rural areas. This math shows up again and again across real households. Now let's complicate things. What if you want to retire early? Most people assume early retirement multiplies the required number dramatically. In reality, it mostly changes how the money is structured, not how much you need. Suppose you want to retire 10 years before Social Security begins. During those 10 years, your portfolio must fully fund your lifestyle. After that, Social Security steps in and reduces the burden. This creates two buckets. The first is a bridge portfolio designed to last only until Social Security starts. Because it has a fixed end date, it can tolerate a higher withdrawal rate, often 8 to 10%. The second is your long-term portfolio, which only needs to support a lower spending level because Social Security covers part of your income. Let's say you want to maintain that $180,000 lifestyle. Gross income requirement is $260,000. For the first 10 years, the bridge portfolio needs to cover the full amount. At a 9% withdrawal rate, that requires roughly $2.9 million. Meanwhile, your long-term portfolio remains invested and growing. By the time Social Security starts, it needs to support only about $188,000 per year. And even that amount declines over time as spending naturally decreases in later retirement. Depending on growth assumptions, that long-term portfolio might only need to be around $1.6 to $2 million at the start of early retirement. Add it together, and you get something close to $4.5 to $5 million. That's the math for retiring a decade early while living better than the vast majority of retirees. So why does the internet insist you need 3 times that? Because fear scales better than math. If you're a financial advisor charging a percentage of assets, a bigger target benefits you. If you're a content creator selling financial products, telling people they're not there yet keeps them engaged. If you're a platform built on comparison, extreme numbers generate more emotion. There's also a psychological trap at play: moving goalposts. People hit one target, feel relief for about 5 minutes, and then raise the bar. The number stops representing a plan and starts representing anxiety. I've watched people with $2 million convince themselves they need $5 million. Then $10 million, then just one more year. Not because their lifestyle required it, but because stopping felt scarier than continuing. Here's a grounded example. Imagine a couple in their mid-40s earning $200,000 combined. They've saved $1.2 million. They spend about $120,000 per year. They want to retire at 55 and expect spending to rise slightly to $140,000. With consistent saving and reasonable market returns, they reach roughly $3.4 million by 55. Their bridge portfolio covers the first decade. The remaining assets grow until Social Security starts. They don't need a miracle. They don't need a windfall. They need consistency and clarity. And yet, many people in this exact position believe they're behind. Two important reality checks before we end. First, lifestyle inflation is real. People who suddenly acquire large wealth almost always spend more than they planned. That's not a moral failure, it's human nature. Planning conservatively helps counter that. Second, Social Security matters, even for high earners. Removing it from retirement math often increases required portfolio size by over $1 million. Ignoring it leads people to overestimate how much they need. The uncomfortable truth is this: most people don't want to calculate their enough number because once they know it, they might have to make a decision. And decisions are harder than dreams. The finance industry thrives on the idea that there's always another rung above you. But at some point, the ladder stops being useful. The people who retire happily aren't the ones who hit the biggest number. They're the ones who understood when the climb stopped adding value. Most people will keep chasing anyway. At least now, you know the math.